Neiko wa Surayo, meaning being Neiko is a pain. The story of this manga revolves around the main character Neiko, who has just graduated university and has been fervently applying for jobs. However, after applying to no avail, Neiko adopts a defeatist attitude and decides that she's going to become a neet. Now, what is a neet? Well, for starters, NEET is actually an acronym which stands for non-education, employment, or training. Commonly, especially in manga and anime, a NEET is an adult that still lives with their parents and is not actively in pursuit of a career. What's special about this story, however, is that it subverts your expectations of a typical NEET, which is usually a less than appealing man, to put it nicely, and instead shows you a cute anime girl as a NEET. I mean, just look at her. She doesn't exactly scream social outcast. Outwardly, this seems to just be another slice of life manga about a cute, airheaded girl living with her family, just trying to stumble her way through life. However, if that was all you thought about this manga at first sight, you would be incredibly wrong. I tend to avoid neat manga for this exact reason, being I don't want to read a story about an ooh girl talking about how hard her life is with social anxiety, as if we don't all have that anyways. Although there are certainly times when it does meet this trope, there are quite often not even subtle, deep undertones. Neko Watsurayo, however, delves into something different that most manga avoids, what it's really like to be a NEET. In reality, being a NEET is not a fun or comedic experience. Depression and fear of hatred or failure are all real depressing emotions NEETs actually face. In the beginning, you get to know Neko and her family, and it's very easy to just laugh at her in the beginning. I really contemplated dropping this manga after the first couple chapters because I thought it was one of the aforementioned gag manga, but boy am I glad I didn't. You get a first look, however, into the soul-crushing reality of what being a NEET looks like for her in a chapter where Neko sees herself as a total failure because despite the fact that she had a normal and even popular life in university, after being rejected by so many jobs, she feels that she never has and never will accomplish anything in life that she really wants because she feels so utterly, completely useless. The saddest chapter in the manga is when Neko has to clean her room. She ends up finding all of her stuff from her childhood that she held dear, including stuff that reminded her of her dreams and all of her childhood aspirations. Eventually, this nostalgia wears off and turns into heart-wrenching, searing pain, and the manga hits us with this image. This image says it all. The realities of being a NEET. She's in undeniable pain. Bigger than just being a NEET, however, this manga dives into what it's like to have depression, as it repeatedly beats into us that yes, Neko is depressed. And the jump in chapters between upbeat and comedic to the next being depressing is almost poetic, because it's a perfect example of depression. It feels realistic, depression is like that. One day, you'll feel happy and pleased and like yourself, and then suddenly you don't. This manga portrays this contrast so well that the comedic and funny scenes seem extra comedic and extra funny, while the depressing chapters feel extra depressing and realistic. Every emotion that Neko goes through, you can feel yourself. I find myself often reading this series because I love Neko as a character and her depiction of depression and self-hatred and the internal struggle she feels. This manga doesn't sugarcoat things. Being a NEET isn't funny or cute, it's sad, and this manga portrays that expertly. It shows how depression isn't easily conquered. Now, all this being said, it is still a mostly comedic manga, so don't take what I'm saying to mean that the series is completely depressing. Overall, this is a beautiful, underrated series that I think deserves more love. If it sounds like something you'd like to read, then read it, and let me know what you think about it in the comments. Or, if you've already read it, also be sure to let me know what your opinion is on it.